Good morning. I am just sitting here looking at some pictures of my kids, and they're just so darn cute, aren't they? You know, one of the things that my children have taught me about being a father, which I don't mind all the time, is they absolutely need me. They'll say stuff like, Daddy, can you reach the bowl? Because it's too far out of reach. Or, Daddy, give me a hug because I am sad and I need your embrace. You know, children are so reliant upon so many people because there's so much of stuff that they can't do. And my kids look to me as their father, not only because of who I am, but what I can do for them as well, because they need me. And that's a little bit of the heart behind Psalm 99, one away from going through 100 Psalms in this series. And so what I want to do is I want to look at verses 1 through 5 and unpack that for us. But then I want to look at verses 6 and 7 to spend most of our time on that. And so let me read it for you now. It says, "The Lord reigns, let the nations tremble. He sits enthroned between the cherubim. Let the earth shake. Great is the Lord in Zion. He is exalted over all the nations. Let them praise your great and awesome name. He is holy. The King is mighty. He loves justice. You have established equity. In Jacob you have done what is just and right. Exalt the Lord our God and worship at his footstool, for he is holy." And so what the psalmist is doing here is he's repeating that phrase, he is holy. He's giving us a picture of who God is and all of the ways he is holy, of how he is right and just and good and that he deserves our worship, right? And then we see a little bit of a picture of kind of our perspective through the eyes of Moses, Aaron, and Samuel. Let me read this and unpack it for you. It says, "Moses and Aaron were among his priests. Samuel was among those who called on his name. They called on the Lord, and he answered them. He spoke to them from the pillar of cloud. They kept his statutes and decrees he gave them." So we think about these quote-unquote heroes of the faith. We think about, Moses and Aaron and Samuel. And what did those three have in common? Well, it tells us right here, they all called upon the Lord. They saw their situation. They saw the situation that they were in, and they looked to the Lord and said, "We need you, for we know you are holy, and you are mighty, and you are strong, and you are powerful. And we have come to the end of ourselves." Imagine that all of us, in some way, shape, or form, are kind of like headlights, right? So sometimes you have your headlights on the low lights, and those lights extend to a certain path of which we can see. But if we need more light, we put on the high beams to be able to see further out. And some of us, in some of our resources, talents, and abilities, some of us are low lights. There's only a certain amount of us, whether it's through our wealth or through the ways that God has blessed us with abilities, that we can only go so far. But some of us, we got high beams, right? Some of us have a tremendous amount of wealth, a tremendous amount of resources and networks that can get us to a certain place. But here's the truth about low light people and high light people and high beam people, is that your light will only shine so far. Is that at some point you must come to the end of yourself. Think about the people of Israel, is that they didn't know where they were going. What did they have to do? They had to trust a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire at night. They had to follow the Lord's light, that no matter where we are in our lives, no matter how rich we are or poor we are, at some point we come to an end in ourselves. And we have a light that shines to a point, and that's the point where God's light has to start shining for us. You see, faith begins when we have come to an end of ourselves. See, if we just rely upon our resources, then do we ever really need God in the first place? If we can just, buy stuff and get things? No. We have to come to a reality and realize that we need God no matter where we are in our lives. And so, when it finishes out in verses 8 through 9, it says, "Lord our God, you answered them. You were to Israel a forgiving God, though you punished their misdeeds. Exalt the Lord our God and worship at his holy mountain, for the Lord our God is holy." So we see him ending that once again, that the Lord is holy, set apart. And here's the reality: we need him. And what I love about that is the Lord our God Though they called out to you, you answered them. Oh, how wonderful is the ear of our God to those of us who are rich in wealth or poor in spirit, is that no matter where we are in those situations, that the Lord, if we call out to him, he will answer us. And so what I challenge you this week is to look at the things in your life, no matter your situation, is to call out to him because you need him.